All right guys, today in this video, we're gonna dive into an alternative training system. In this case specifically, we're gonna be looking at the ACE virtual reality setup. All right, so how was my opinion formed on this setup? I am a competitive shooter. I've been shooting for many, many years doing that, and I'm typically averaging on a heavy shooting year somewhere around the 5,000 rounds a year. It's not a ton. There's lots of competitors that shoot far more than that, but that is a solid foundation to know what I want to work on and what I'm trying to do when I picked up this set of system to start. I'm also a reloader. That was from a cost savings standpoint of if I'm shooting a lot, I need to be able to bring my cost of ammo down. And then in VR, I have logged around 140,000 rounds at this point. All of that to say, if you as a shooter are wanting to get better and you are looking, pistol specifically, and you are looking to get better in what is what I would argue is the most cost-effective manner possible, don't buy that next Glock, buy this. And I say that, and I'm giving you my bottom line up front now. If you want to get better and I had to pick, reloading, saving money on live rounds, and I'm saying this as somebody that uses multiple Dillon machines, I would sell that and focus on this. This will make you a better shooter than all of that reloading. I'm saying that taking in mind when you only have 20 minutes at home, you can rip some rounds on this. When it is freezing cold in the winter and you want to go to a range and be running multiple drills and being out there for an hour plus because you want to focus, you can do it with this. It is that good of a training tool. Okay, so we've addressed that this is for anyone that wants to be better. If you are CCW focused, if you are just the average shooter but you know that you've got some things you want to work on, you can get better with this. If you are competition focused, you're running through matches, you are running through qualifiers on this. Those drills are there. This is, I don't want to say tailored for you, but it is one of those scenarios where as a competition shooter, you know what is about to be put in front of you with these stages. Some of the other shooters, there may be a little bit of a lesson learned and how some of that works. All right, so what are you actually working on in this setup? You're obviously not working on recoil. Throw that out of your mind, there is none. But your trigger press, getting it as consistent, straight back as possible, not moving the sights when you press that trigger. You can do that here. Dot tracking, your ability to track that dot as you are transitioning from target to target. You can do that here. Grip consistency. This is one where you've got to force yourself to break from a gaming and be in a training mentality with this system. You've got to grip the handset like you would your real firearm. Now that is going to be forcing the extra focus and barreling down on that grip and then making that trigger press be as smooth and consistent as possible. Running the bill drill, just recently one that I was recording, 5th shot, I threw it. And the stats and everything that ACE walks you through afterwards to evaluate your shooting shows exactly which shot I pulled. It was barely a mic, but it was there, and I felt it when I pressed the trigger. It was a grip. I got loose, I got slack, and it showed. Once the aggravation of that wore off, turn around, focus, launch that drill again. I was able to barrel down on the gun, get my grip better, rip off 6 shots faster than I did the first time, and get a much higher score, contributing to the statistics that are being logged in ACE. So let's talk through a little bit of an intro as to this overall arching system. When you put it on, when you're in VR, there's a hut there. That is kind of your little living space, if you will. It's going to keep track of your total rounds fired, your average cost savings, all of your statistics. If you are a data-driven person, it is going to give you a ton of stats for you to work on and for you to keep logging and to be getting better with. Pistol selection, there is a ton of stuff. There are tons of guns that they have partnered with. Some of them have the handsets to go with them, some of them don't. So if you're comfortable with a mismatch of what's in your hand versus what you're seeing, so be it. Skills, drills, and thrills. This is their section where it really, how do you plan on training that day? Are you wanting to tackle individual pieces? Are you wanting to work on just the presentation of your sights? Are you wanting to focus on just a plate rack, or are you wanting to roll through an entire stage from a match? How do you want to train that day? The thrills section, there's some games, there's a few things in there just to play around with. I can tell you my kids absolutely enjoy some of that. The robot zombie one it's entertaining enough. But it really boils down to how you want to focus your time, whether you want focus training or if you want to work on kind of a total match stage and where you're stringing everything together. So, we talked about this a little bit from a cost-effective standpoint. One piece that I want to touch on is this is not something specific to ACE. This is a standard Meta Quest 2. With that in mind, this works on the 3S. It works on the 3. If you are cost-focused, you may have one of these laying around that your kids aren't using anymore. That was my case. It's now mine, and it stays dedicated to ACE. If you are looking to save a little money, the Quest 2 works absolutely just fine for this setup. I've used it on the 3S. The added performance and horsepower of that system in the ACE VR app, it's not overly needed. Can't say I saw a ton of gains. That was my perspective from it. I've also used ACE in the MetaQuest 3. Those new lenses are nice. I will grant you that. If you have some vision issues, it might be worth spending that extra money. It is a little bit clearer, but it is not something that is going to impede your training with the system itself. All right, diving into my lessons learned now. So the biggest thing here is you need to mentally break and focus between gaming versus training. You have to maintain the training mindset. The other piece for the physical aspect of things, the head strap that comes with the MetaQuest it doesn't lock it in place the way that you would want it to and hold it to your head for the movements that you're going to be doing in this. Whether you get an aftermarket one off of Amazon or there's one that ACE actually recommends from their website, either way, get one that ratchets to your head and has an extended battery. That was my number one complaint starting out. The internal battery was not enough. I was blasting through that and still wanting to keep training. So get one that has an extended battery. Modding. So this is my personal Staccato P, and this is the Staccato P handset from ACE. The trigger in this, I've got a 3D printed sear. The springs have been replaced. I wanted this trigger to be as close as I could get it to mine, which is not stock. And the modding community for this has gone full bore. There are tons of mod files out there. Is it ever going to feel like a Staccato? No. Let's be realistic here, guys. But I'm a trigger snob. I will own that. And this is good enough, and I like it enough, and it is close enough that I can invest time training in this, knowing it is helping me with my actual fire. Holsters. ACE sells holsters. They are cut out to fit the handset from the Quest. The mounting points on them, they've got multiple holes there. It's going to work on Safari Land. It's going to work on the RTI setup. Any of the other brands out there that have gotten popular, it'll mount to the True North drop offset. So if you want to work on your draw from a holster, your presentation after that, from breaking contact with the handset, that option's there. Reloading. So this was another one I wanted to harp on. All right, there is a mag drop button there. There is reloading in this system. With that in mind, there is no physical magazine coming out. You are not physically putting one back in. When you hit your mag release, you'll see the magazine drop out, but it is just you slapping the bottom to get that next mag in. The gyros are sensing that, and away you go. The gun's hot again. My favorite part about it is going into the options and turning that off and going for unlimited ammo. In my opinion, if you want to practice on reloading, you need the physical magazines. You need to be doing that. There is no VR that's going to work for that. And if you were trying to do it in VR, you're going to end up with magazines in front of you, and then you could be tripping on them. So I don't necessarily practice that in the VR, but it is there. There are some drills that force you to do reloads, so it's not like they didn't think of that. It is there. Finally, stats. There are tons of statistics in the game. It is going to show your precision, your speed, where you're improving. The way that it scores each of the drills is going to help you understand where you're getting better. The scoring of everything is the way it's scored in actual matches. So your hit factors and whatnot, all of that is there for you to understand if you are coming from the competition world. I can tell you the scores that I am now logging in VR, there was no prayer of me hitting that when I started out. I have gotten better because of this system. And if that is, I know I waited till the end to kind of harp on this, but it will make you better if you apply the proper focus. You treat it as a training tool and not a game. It is going to show you where your weaknesses are, and you have the ability to rep and rep and rep and just rip rounds like you would never do in live fire. Most of us can't afford to do that. This is a sunk cost. Once you have spent the money, other than there's an annual fee, a monthly fee with it. It's a couple cups of coffee. That's what you're spending to save ammo. Hands down, in my opinion, this system is worth it. I've encouraged tons of other shooters to start messing with this. I've let my pastor play around with this. It is a system that anyone that enjoys shooting, you're going to be better for it. Now, with that said, this is just an intro video. There are tons out there that dive into this system in detail. If you want to know more before you dive in and make that investment, I encourage you, get out there, search them, find them, go watch those. The forums are out there, and just dive in deeper before and get a good understanding before you invest. All right, guys, that wraps up this video. Appreciate you watching. As always, like, subscribe, get in the comments. If you've got questions on this system, we'd love to try and address those for you. If we can't, we'll try and direct you in the right place to get that covered. As always, thanks for watching.